Doctor Strange's event is going on tonight at Marvel Strike Force. So in this video, we're talking about the best unyielding characters and why it may not even matter for some players. Also, when should you open your orange gear orbs? We got some updates to orange gear economy coming. And how strong is our old Eternals meta going to be against the new Darkhold meta? Well, we have the requested footage along with all of your questions from the mailbag because it is Mailbag Monday. So you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Valley Maniacs, hello. I hope you were having a great Monday. I hope you had a great WrestleMania weekend, and I hope you had a great relaxing weekend with your entire family. And I hope you're ready for all of the questions on Marvel Strike Force from the mailbag. And if you want to get a question potentially featured on these Monday mailbag videos that we do every single Monday, most of the time, make sure you are a member of Discord. But let's get right into it. Talk about this Unyielding Tag for Doctor Strange's event going on right now. Boom. Or not right now. Going on in a little bit. Coming in tonight. So with a new Forbidden Knowledge event that is coming, we have a new heroic difficulty. This is the first difficulty, or this is the first event campaign that has this new heroic difficulty. If we go to mission 9 and see who are the characters, how strong are these characters that we have to prepare for, we see some of these first-time rewards, some of these guaranteed rewards, and I think what you're also going to get in addition to these heroic difficulty first-time rewards is those hard difficulty first-time rewards where we're also getting some Doctor Strange shards, also getting some shards for the new Unyielding Orb. But in addition to this, let's look at like these enemies. We have a Morgan Le Fay, biggest enemy in the entire event, 95k Morgan Le Fay. So even though she's a very good character, has one of the most updated kits in the game, I think you should still be able to smash through this character with any of your characters in the game that have probably over 150k health. So, and then if you want to check out the rest of these, or power, not health, power, 150k power. If you want to check out the rest of these missions, you don't have to go back like I was doing on stream. Just hit these arrows and you can go to the previous mission. You can check out some of the first time rewards there. Check out some of the enemies. We got to do, make sure you're bringing in someone that has ability block if you're bringing in. But let's go take a look. As we take a look at some of these other first-time rewards, better. I'm glad we're getting some teal gear. It is Catalyst, so it's not like it's all the unique pieces that we're missing. But let's go into the game and talk about this Unyielding Tag. Now, honestly, what was said this morning with the Valley Club in the morning is that probably Gamora, Nebula, at least at this power level, could probably auto through the entire heroic difficulty. And while that may be true, I'm just probably going to bring in Gamora, Nebula, Zemo, Deathpool, and Scarlet Spider and just see if they can auto this. Now, if these enemies are tricky, which it doesn't look like they're going to be that tricky according to MSF.GG, at least at the power levels in the game, we're just going to auto through it, smash through it. So that is my plan. Let me know what your plan is. I don't think this Unyielding Tag is going to matter. We got so many good characters with this Unyielding Tag. And there's no Beast, so probably not Phoenix, but there's a lot of great characters that you can bring in. Ghost is a good character. You're not wasting a lot of resources by building Wolverine or Lady Deathstrike because of their use on the Weapon X team. Same with Silver Samurai. So a lot of great choices. Let me know who you're bringing in. Maybe you're bringing in Doctor Strange Heartless. Maybe you've already unlocked him as Scarlet Witch just for this upcoming Darkhold team. But next, let's talk about these new gear tiers that we have, these raid orbs that are coming, or these new raid, these new orange gear economy that is happening in Marvel Strike Force. Because in the latest blog post, see that mini uniques, we're getting them more farmable. They're getting on 2 campaign nodes and only on campaign nodes that have 10 energy. Also, there is some update to the Ultra Store. This is probably the least impactful, honestly. But the big one is these war orbs. Now, not that they're increasing the stuff in these war orbs, and they don't have a time on this, so hoard your war orbs, even for the orange gear now. If you're currently buying these war orbs for the orange gear, maybe you should hold off until we get an announcement on when we can get this orange gear pieces. But yeah, I think the big thing that's missing here is where is all of the teal gear, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know where it is. Now, one more thing before we get to this questions, we have a milestone going on right now. There's still a few more days in the milestone, the successful brew milestone. If we look at this, there's 3 days and 3 hours left. So at server reset today, so in 3 hours from me recording this, you should be a little bit above 66,000 for all these milestones. You should probably be shooting for 67,000 by the end of server reset today, just to be on pace. But at the end of server reset, 3 more days left. So hopefully you get all of these orbs. Hopefully you get all of this stuff. Now, before we get to this question, just one more thing. There was a request from the Valley Club to see how the Speed Turtles does against this new Darkhold team. And this is footage from the test server, ladies and gentlemen. And this battle, honestly, it goes as expected. The old meta versus the new meta. I think you guys already could guess how this battle is gonna go, but we have a 815k power Darkhold team there, and we are not using our Darkhold team. We're actually using the Speed Turtles. So punching up a little with the Speed Turtles. Yes, we are doing the crazy thing. We're punching up with the old arena meta versus the current arena meta, and yeah, this battle does not go well. Obviously, these safeguards were put there for a reason, and it is not allowing us to counter this Darkhold team with the Eternals right here. But yeah, it's because of the safeguard. We can't get around them. We can't remove these effects. We can't flip these effects. No, we're moving a little speed bar there with Cersei, but yeah, not doing what we want, not doing the total damage that we could do. Try to go after Doctor Strange here, see if that does anything. But yeah, just with this flip, if he didn't have those safeguards on there, probably would be done with a majority of this battle right now. Doctor Strange would be dead. We would get that second hit, but yeah, no, we don't have it. So we're just, it just does not go well at this point. But just so you can see, I think you guys expected that this battle would go like this, but I wanted to just see it firsthand. Yeah, it gets ugly after this. Not much that we could do. This full Darkhold team just smashing. There she goes. There goes Emma. Now it's just the Eternals. Very rough shape Eternals. Boom. Icarus is gonna go first. Oh, boom. Cersei's all her effects are done. There goes Icarus, and he landed on his leg. It looked like Crow Cop after Gabriel Gonzaga fight. Boom. One more hit, and there goes Cersei. Yes, there is the dirty battle. All right, War Orbs. That is it. Let's move on forward to the questions from the mailbag. Your questions from the mailbag. Boom. First question. Hey, Brother Valley. I hope all is well with you. Question about the Dark Hunters. I thought they were supposed to counter those dirty heroes for hire. They were. That's what they were billed as. But I battled at 275k heroes for hire with my 310k Dark Hunters, and I got smoked. I tried Dark Hunters with OG Doctor Strange, he got spanked. Then tried Dark Hunters with Mordo, got spanked. Does this Dark Hunter team require a lot of T4s to work? Yeah, so I automatically put the T4s in these guys because while they were announced, I had a surplus of them. And like you said, they were built to beat the dirty, evil heroes for hire. So I put a lot of T4s in these guys initially, and they do okay against the heroes for hire. It doesn't appear that they're doing good as they were built. Now, what was built was Weapon X, the top ward offense team, and then the next tier below that was supposed to be Weapon X. They were supposed to reliably counter heroes for hire, but from what I'm hearing, that battle doesn't go as planned. So I think they need a lot of T4s for the battle to work. I do need to do a little more testing firsthand before I totally trash the team and say they're irrelevant. But I guess if you look at this Scourge events and Morgan Le Fay, even if they can't reliably counter heroes for hire, at least they're going to have some use. So very disappointed. I think I'm as disappointed as you that we're not having a reliable, dirty heroes for hire counter, but maybe with a lot of T4s. They're supposedly like Shadowlands, where you need a lot of T4s for this team to work correctly. So a little more testing on my part, but yeah, not as impressed as them as we should have been. All right, hey Valley, 2 questions. First, do you know how strong the teams need to be for the middle lanes in Gamma 4.3, Shield and then Heroes for Hire? For Shield, I have Maria, level 80, gear 15, Fury, level 75, gear 14, but my other Shield characters are level 65, gear 12 or lower. For Heroes for Hire, I have Shang-Chi, level 85, gear 15, but the other Heroes for Hire are level 65, gear 12. I never put much into them since they're a dirty war defense team, yes. Except if you're in Gamma Rays and except if you're using Shang-Chi outside of that lane. And maybe Misty in tech. I still haven't built her up enough to test her in 4.3? whatever the hardest version of Doom is. That's what I still haven't tested her in. But yeah, so let's look at these first few questions about the difficulty. Now, this isn't my area of expertise. I'm on the left, the total left side in Gamma, and I have been for a while. So I'm in the Kree Wakandan section there. So I don't have first-hand experience, but if we go to msf.gg and take a look at the total power of these characters, we got characters, and this is for 4.3 of Gamma. So 50s, the 50s for these characters. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. Anybody with first-hand experience that knows like the exact amount that you need your characters to be at to beat this, let me know. I heard it's still pretty hard, even if you're building with the characters. I'd say over 100K for all of your characters, all of your heroes for hire, and all your shield. You should be good based on what I'm seeing here, especially with these older enemies. But again, I don't have first-hand experience. That's just a guess. But I think over 100K with all of your characters, you should be good. But that is my guess. All right, now to your next question. Second question. Now that Storm has a better costume, which character would you like to see get some new threads? Well, I mean, right off the top of my head, let's just mention how tiny Hulk is. Not even new threads. Just make him the normal size Hulk. Let's start with that before we start introducing new costumes. They have to pay and grind for and all that. But I'm not sure. Let's go into the game and see if there's any that stand out, though. Maybe Phoenix. I know she got a new end song costume, but I would like to see another one. Maybe Lady Deathstrike. Make her look more like Kelly Hu. These are our unyielding characters. Let's go to the entire roster here and see what we got. Maybe Kestra. I know she's a original character, but having her in a different outfit just because she's so used would be kind of cool. Maybe the Eternals. Again, I don't really know of them in any other outfits, but just because they're used so much, I think I would like to see some other outfits for them. Let's see. Any others off the top of my head? Yelena Belova. There's never enough costumes for Yelena Belova, as long as they have multiple versions of pockets. I mean, I would like a Zemo, maybe not the Burger King version of Zemo, but the one based on the MCU character, if they have those rights. Obviously, Wong needs to get the MCU version of this character in the game, but yeah, I think those would be my top choices there. Those characters there. Maybe a new Magneto as well. That would be pretty cool. And the MCU version of Mordo as well, especially if Mordo's going to be in the upcoming Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. But that's who I would pick off the top of my head. Let me know which characters that you would want to see get some new threads, some new costumes in Marvel Strike Force. But back to the questions from the Valley Club. With the new arena meta changing, what do you think that the battles will be like Black Order and Infinity Watch, or like Eternals? Because it'll probably be Darkhold. Now, I've experienced a couple different battles with this team. The battles Darkhold versus Darkhold, they're not as fun and as fast as Eternals versus Eternals. Those are like couple move matches done. They weren't as bad as Eternals. Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch. Those mirror matches were probably the longest, the least fun. The Black Orders, they were probably the second least fun. Now, this new one, I think it's gonna be somewhere in between Infinity Watch and in between Black Order. Not gonna be fun, getting the same matchups every day, but here's the thing. When you replace Scarlet with Dormammu, you get those revives. Those matches are way more horrible. And in those matches, I timed out a few times, so it could be even worse than Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch when there's Dormammu, and slightly better than Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch when you're just going Darkhold versus Darkhold. So that's my impressions, at least so far from the test server. Obviously, with the test server, a lot of the ranks of the characters are even across the board, so not really a lot of huge punch-ups or punch-downs, but that's my impression so far based on what I've seen there. All right, Valley, not so much a question, but a quality of life improvement suggestion. What do you think about a feature for Simblets that gives players the ability to target certain enemies going into battle? It's good. And before we got modes like Cosmic Crucible and Tower Mode and Pocket Dimension, I would have been like, yes, let's do this, and makes the battles a little more reliable. I'm actually okay with losing a few battles here and there in Sim. For Blitz Sim, I want to get through it as quick as possible. I don't know if I would be wanting some extra time to make the battles a little more reliable. I think for the trade-off of speed, I'd rather just lose a few matches. But This is not a bad suggestion. I mean, I would like something like this when we're going on full auto. When you click on the full auto, or when you click on a raid match now or something like that, when you go into battle, have the option to full auto right as soon as you start, and then have that first enemy targeted. That would be a cool option. I would like that. And then when you just hit the auto button or you hit the start button, boom, you walk away from your phone. You don't have to worry about hitting that auto button twice and double tapping that. I think I would like this, but maybe not for Blitz, for some other modes. I'm thinking it could be used when you're selecting the enemy team before the fight, before hitting battle button, you hit the icon of a character you want your team to target. Obviously, taunt stealth statuses would override the selection, but essentially you're giving your team a priority to target. Yeah, I like this idea. I just don't like that it will slow down the Blitz. At this point, Blitz is just, I mean, people are asking for a sim all. So you just, boom, hit one button, sim all your blitzes. You take your wins, take your losses. I think that's kind of where the majority of the community's head is right now. So I like this idea. It's not a bad idea, but I think time is what the community wants right now, rather than getting our wins a little more consistent. I couldn't think of the word there for a little bit. All right. Hey, Valley, hope you and your family are well. Same to you, Valley Club. All of your Valley Club, not just Ma, especially you, Ma, but everyone else. I hope you and your families are doing well as well, especially after this WrestleMania crazy weekend. I'm building up for DD5 starting with city characters, taking Cloak, Dagger, Shang-Chi, Ghost Spider, and Ghost. I've heard Scarlet Spider is Ghost. Cloak, Dagger, Shang-Chi, and Ghost Spider. All right, so you're looking for your fifth. Now, with just a selection of Cloak and Dagger, that is what I thought as well, because those are the used characters. But the Mystic gear, I would probably warn against this, because they take so much Mystic gear. And while it will help you in the Mystic section of Zooms, while it will help you to City right now in Dark Dimension 5, it's going to kind of hurt you later on trying to get into Global and Cosmic, especially with all those great Cosmic Mystic characters. You may want to save it, but these are good choices. I like all these choices. Spider, Ghost Spider, she takes Alien Spores, so you're not using a lot of that. I've heard Scarlet Spider's decent in DD5, but only have a 3 yellow and red stars, but I have Spider Punk and 5 red. Should I stick with a low-level Scarlet or far my considerably higher-powered Punk? Now, if it was me, I probably would go Punk. Yes, Scarlet is a better character. Punk is a good character, but not as good as Scarlet, in my opinion. Even with that said, based on the star level and based on the fact that eventually you're probably going to want to build up both of these characters gear 16 anyway, especially when you're done with Dark Dimension 5 and you're not hoarding all this gear and it's not a big crunch. I think eventually you're going to get these characters up, both of them eventually. So it's just a matter of which one first. And if you got the stars on Spider-Punk right now, I think that's the way to go. Get into Dark Dimension 5. It looks like Dormammu may still have some relevance in Arena, especially on Arena defense. So it's not a character that you want to necessarily sleep on. But I'd say if you have Punk ready, do Punk right now. Get into Dark Dimension 5. But you're gonna want to do Scarlet. You want to go to eventually maybe normal Spider-Man and Miles as well. But yeah, you're probably going to want to do all these Web Warriors eventually at some point. So not the worst thing, switching up the order just to get into Dark Dimension 5. Hey, Valley, greetings from Jersey. What is up, my friend? I am done with the first 3 nodes of DD5, getting and trying to get city tunes to Gear 16. We are in the same boat, my friend. I don't have all my city characters done. I have Scarlet Spidey, and we'll have Shang-Chi, Ghost, and Misty. The question on my mind, should I Gear 16 Morbius or keep farming for Cloak? Cloak needs a ton, a total of 72 gear pieces. Morbius needs 11. I feel Cloak would be better, but if Morbius can handle it, I've saved some Mystic for the Cosmic section. So I think you're actually going with a more expensive route, because like I said, with the Web Warriors, you're probably going to go back after you're done with Dark Dimension 5 and invest in Cloak and Dagger anyway. So would you invest in Morbius? If you would invest in Morbius, not for Dark Dimension 5, but just you would invest in Morbius, build them up for that level, yes, then build them up, take him in the city, worry about Cloak and Dagger later. If you never intended to build up Morbius and you're building up just to get through City and Dark Dimension 5, you may want to hold off on that. Yes, he's a Dark Hunter. Yes, he's going to help you in the Scourge defense. But again, Mystic gear is so precious right now. And I believe he's Mystic. He was supposed to be Bio, but he ended up being Mystic. It's so precious right now. I think that you can hold it. Like I said, unless you have another use for Morbius down the road, I probably wouldn't be investing in characters specifically for Dark Dimension 5. So yeah, save your Mystic gear. Save it for the Eternals. Save it for maybe Cloak and Dagger. If you could get into someone like cheap, like Misty Knight, I'm thinking of actually taking in Misty Knight because she's so cheap. That would be the way to go. Other city characters that might, I mean, you might want to go back and do symbiotes if you have a lot of that bio stuff sitting around, but just know that you're not going to use them at all after Dark Dimension 5. So if you build them up, you're just building them for Dark Dimension 5. But I'm actually wondering right now, should I wait for those last few pieces of Oz to get my Web Warriors up to give me the actual value that I need, or rush in, maybe take in another character like Misty Knight, use up some of the tech gear there, get into City, and hopefully build up more tech gear for some other tech characters that I'm thinking of taking in, like Lady Deathstrike, Star-Lord T'Challa, maybe even Ravager Stitcher. That's where my head's at right now. So it's just the question. Do you want to get into Dark Dimension 5 right now? Get Dormammu right now? Do you have a use for Dormammu right now? Maybe it's arena defense, with seeing the way that this Darkhold team is. Or can you kind of wait? And if you could kind of wait, save it for the characters that you're gonna use long term, and maybe not someone that you're gonna just get into Dark Dimension 5. Like Morbius potentially, but if you're gonna use him for war is important for you. You got other plans for him after Dark Dimension 5. Put him up right now and just do Cloak and Dagger later. All right, what is up, Valley? I am 647 days into this game. It's so difficult to remember when Orange Gear was released. Man, I'm of a lot more days than you, and I have so much difficulty remembering when different things were released in this game. I was more likely worried about leveling up my 50k default city team. So my question is, when Orange Gear dropped, was it as difficult to acquire the green gear as we're experiencing now? I'm assuming that you mean the purple gear, not the green gear. So I'm going to answer it as purple gear because that's the one right under orange, and not yeah, you got a couple between orange and green, but it from what I remember, and I may be remembering this wrong because it was a few years ago, but I think it was as difficult. I remember ABCs were so scarce for a long time, and then they started easing things up on purple gear and then making orange gear the big crunch. Now I see them, now purple gear hasn't really been an issue, at least for myself, for a while. They're starting to do the same with orange gear, but as I remember this, we started getting more teal bottlenecks eased up before they started to ease up on the bottlenecks of orange gear. So this is a little backwards from what I remember, but yeah, there was a bottleneck still on purple gear, and it was easing up, but there was still a bottleneck. I appreciate the recent effort from Scope to release more of it through events, but at this rate, I'll have my Gear 16 characters in the fall at best. How long was the Orange Gear held hostage when it was debuted? Well, remember, Orange Gear, we had Gear 13, and that went all the way back to, was it Dark Dimension 2 that they went back to? Then we had Gear 14 to Dark Dimension 3, Gear 15 for Dark Dimension 5. So we've had Orange Gear for a long time. There's a few gear tiers that we went through this. So, yeah, it was held hostage for a long time. The purple gear was held hostage for a long time. It wasn't until somewhere between Gear 14 and Gear 15 that they started easing up on some of the bottlenecks in purple gear. So hopefully we don't have to wait that long for orange gear, and hopefully we get the bottlenecks in teal eased up way sooner than I thought it would be. All right, or than I'm thinking it will be, because it seems like it should have been released months ago, but we still have this bottleneck on tier gear. All right, hey Valley, come to you from good old North Carolina. What is up, my friend, from good old Texas? I've had an ongoing issue with a game that remains unaddressed by support. All right, why is it a Loki special, and more specifically, Mystique's ult has not been changed? A number of times their ults one-shot my players in raids wars beyond frustrating. I have a 70k Mystiques, get my Kestrel and other 30k damage to be mind controlled and one shot by one of my own players. At what point does gear and focus resistance actually matter? A 70k collector power player should in no way get used to an ult and mind control someone to double their collection power to kill another 100k player. The amount of times I lost a player in Doom raids because a Mystique could fill a book of sadness. Now, I've experienced this sometimes, and it kind of sucks when you're going against a low-level team. Like, whoa, this should have been full auto. Why are this lowly sub 100k characters even threatening my team? But yeah, Mystique does that, Loki does that. But I've also experienced that in the past on the other way around, when when Loki and Mystique would mind control the enemies that are way more powerful than my team, and they would one-shot the enemies. So it goes both ways. I mean, you got to know these characters. You got to know Mystique does that. You got to know Loki does that. I believe there's other characters that do that, but they're not popping into my head at the time. You got to make sure that they're dealt with. Deal with them ability blocks. Deal with them with stuns. Deal with them with blinds. Deal with them with whatever, because they're a time bomb. If you know that they're going to do their move, you know that they're capable of that, block them. But yeah, it's been in a game for a while, so I think it's I don't know if it's a huge complaint at this point, but yeah, at this point you should be worrying about them and ability blocking them and dealing with some solutions. But yeah, it goes both ways, brother. It goes both ways. All right. Hey, Valley, has been there any rumors on new tier challenges or challenge tiers? Not that I've heard, and we are way overdue for this. I mean, in my opinion, when we get a level cap increase, we should get a challenge increase. So we got level 85, what was it, months ago? That's when they should have had the new challenges. Now, maybe they're skipping a release and waiting till we get the level cap increase in 90 before they add new ones. I don't know if they've added one every single level cap increase, so I may be remembering that wrong, but I feel like for every level cap increase, they should increase the amount of gold and training mats that we get on a daily basis and give us a new tier of all of these challenges. And maybe just give us a new tier of these challenges to deal with that gold and training mats bottleneck. But no rumors. So long answer to a short question, no. I have heard no rumors, but we are way overdue for more challenge tiers. Hey, Valley, greetings from Singapore. Do you know the different traits of the characters? How is Falcon tech, but Sam Wilson is skill? Hawkeye is skill, but Kate Bishop is tech. Lady Deathstrike tech, but not mutant. Now, for the Lady Deathstrike one, I'm not hugely familiar with the comics, and I know she was a mutant in the movies, but I heard from the rest of the Valley Club that she's not actually a mutant in the comic book. The tech tag is the correct one for her. But yeah, Sam Wilson, he should be tech. He should be the same thing as Falcon. Kate Bishop, she should not be tech, but she should be skills. So obviously these were not based on any logic other than game balance reasons, just like why Star-Lord T'Challa does not have the Wakanda tag. So yeah, and Killmonger does. So one area of logic they use to give a character tag, and they use the same area of logic. That is why a character does not have a tag. But I think it goes back to all the way back when they added that military tag. They said, you know what? Punisher, yes, he was in the military, but he didn't get the military tag specifically because it would make certain teams too strong. They were specifically talking about the Defenders back then, but I'm assuming it's done for game balance reasons. Now, some of that may be in our favor. I'm assuming some of it, like in the case of Star-Lord T'Challa, is just to make the game harder for us. So it's for balance reasons, not necessarily canonical comic book versions or MCU history or lore, but just to make the game balanced. And sometimes it makes it harder for us. Sometimes it makes it easier for us. All right, what is going on, ValleyFlyin, with the latest blog? How are we supposed to be holding onto our orange gear orbs to do them to the reworked orbs? So here's what I would say. Hold on to as much war credits as you can. That way for those war orbs 1, 2, and then whenever that third one comes out, you can either get that teal gear. So right now, I would be holding on all of your war orbs, or hold on to all of your war currency right now, just because we don't know when there's going to be a teal one. That one I thought it was going to be announced this past weekend, so I'm a little disappointed on that. But as we go in game and check out some of these orbs here, this teal war one, they're supposed to be getting making it so we get more drops in this. So I would hold off on all this currency right here. Just hold off right now. We don't have an announcement on when these orbs are changing. If it's toward the future and you need this orange stuff now, then maybe open it right now. But if you can wait, hold as much as you can right now, and especially if you're trying to get into Dark Dimension 5, hopefully they will give us a teal orb at some meaningful point. I mean, in my opinion, the meaningful point was a couple months ago, but hopefully at Scopely's realization that they're just holding our progress back and making it less fun, hopefully they realize, you know what, let's give them the orb that they've always asked for ever since Dark Dimension 5 was beat. And that is it. That is it for the mailbag. Hopefully all of your questions got answered. Hopefully any questions that you did not even know you needed the answer to got answered on this Monday mailbag video. We do this every single Monday unless something happens. Sometimes we've done it early. Sometimes we've done it late. But usually every Monday we do this. So if you want your question potentially featured on an upcoming episode of the Monday mailbag, make sure you are a member of Discord. The Discord link is down below. We got some other links down below that help to support the channel. And if you enjoyed this version, if you enjoyed this video, obviously share this with all your friends. Give it a thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know as soon as a new video goes up. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back. We got the Doctor Strange event tonight. We got the conclusion of this 4-year anniversary coming tonight, and we got more the Wong Blitz coming later this week. So a lot of stuff in Marvel Strike Force, and we'll be covering all of it on this channel, guys. So I will see you guys later. Give me that Hulk fist bump before you go. Have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you at the top. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin! Out.